I came to flag football back then, I always watch, somebody sit on the high table and just say, hey, you come and go and get me that thing. It was almost like a master slave structure. Why would somebody want to be lord over another man that is giving him value? The only reason a player today is able to have a contract that you say, this contract is mine and I am entitled to this pay today in flag football is because Showtime exists. A bit of history is good. When Nafa left Shitsuke Flag Football, which is the former Showtime, Babajide himself, I'm saying this on camera, told me his aim is to play tackle football. I remember last season during the season before, people were being told if you play in Showtime, you're not going to not play for the national team. And I'll be very clear on this thing. I can confirm this to you, that for Nigeria to go to that Egypt, all of us had to say, yes, we are okay with them going. It wasn't we did it ourselves. No. If we had said no, there will never be a team Nigeria in Egypt. We've kept quiet about this thing for a long time. And we kept confusing everybody all over the place. I can tell anybody, if anybody has a reason, please, I ask anybody that is a good stakeholder of flag football, walk your way to the NSC and ask a simple question. Is there a federation for flag football in Nigeria?
It's all about the big interview, and today we have with us, many of you know him, but thousands and millions may not know him. And I'm talking about the president himself of Showtime. He's also the founder of Showtime Flag Football. Instead of me doing the introduction, I'm going to leave him to do that.
Okay. Leave me to do that. So, but I think my name is Azeez Amida, and thanks for, having me, really. I know we had to drag you guys down, but at least it's good to be here, really. So,
when you say Amida, many people, when they Google it, they will find many Amida online without your picture. But we must know who is Amida.
I don't think you can find any of me on Google. Azeez Amida, I think you're most likely not going to find a lot on that name because it's a very unique name. But my name is Azeez Amida. I founded Showtime Flag Football in 2023. The league before then had been existing as a recreational league, but I invested in it, I think, early 2023. Then eventually, due to some eventualities, we had to found Showtime Flag really the same year, just to continue the legacy as a professional entity. So and then we're here since then. So beyond that, I do quite a bit in telecoms here and there. I'm into quite a bit of stuff. So yeah, I just try my best.
Okay, when we talk about sport and we want to look at this business of sport, and I think that is what the vision you have brought into Showtime. My question is this: when Showtime Flag Football started, what was the original vision?
Well, I think at the beginning it was almost like we just wanted to do the sport. Really, for me it was a bunch of team owners. There was me, and we found a common ground. And for me, it was just like, let's just do it, see where it goes initially. But I think along the line, we got to a point where there was a day I was attending one of the games and I saw the amount of youths and kids that were on that pitch, cheering themselves on, showing up every Sunday to it. And that day I told myself, I said, you know what, I think we're going to do this properly. And unfortunately for a lot of people, some people like to just get things through normally. I like structure. So for me, it was like, okay, if we're going to grow this thing, we need to put a lot of structure into it. So we introduced quite a lot of structure. And so I think the vision technically formed over time to what it is now. And it's still changing, it's still evolving. But our aim was always, how do you, bring best of the best of qualities, best of the best of sport, a level of sport, best of the sport infrastructure, best of the best entertainment into the same place, and then make it into what it should be. So that's more the whole structure, really.
Okay, talking about the vision, and from then to now, looking at the league, How much will you say that the league has achieved with the vision?
Well, I think I'm not one of those people that think too much, 50, 100 years or that sort of thing. I'm one of those people that just think right now, the only focus we have is how do we deliver an immersive experience in the next thing in front of us. So if we have the bowl on Sunday, for example, we have on 21st of December, we have the bowl. And my aim is, the way I think is simply, what's the next, how do we make sure that is unmatched? Then after that, how do we make sure the next week is, so I'm not really the, oh yeah, let's plan for 50 years, because I spent a lot of time in my career planning for 5, 10 years. That we just changes all the time. It's not on 5 years time, it's not on 3 years time, it's not even on 1 year's time. It's simply first things first, the goal. Now, somebody might say, oh, you do big picture thinking. Yeah, amazing.
Wow,
But let's see, we've been small picture thinking to get to our own big picture. We are happy with that.
How do you personally define Showtime's role in Nigerian sports today?
Well, first things first is to lay a foundation for how to create sport business in Nigeria. I think one of the things in sport that's been lacking a lot is that most sports that I see, we play it as if we just play. It's talent driven. People come, they play the sport. And everybody is getting pride in, oh, I'm better than you, I'm not better than you. But that's not sport business. Sport business, and I always say this, I could do this again with a bunch of 60-year-old running and playing flag football, pickleball, any ball. We'll still make the same thing. Not because, this is not to be presumptuous, it's just to say, when you understand the model of sport business, you understand it has nothing to do with the talent. The talent is great. It is the sauce, is the icing on the cake. But when you lack the foundation of the business itself, of doing the business of sport itself, no matter what talent you put on the field, nobody's going to, you're just going to be running left, right, center. No, it's okay to watch football and say I'm a fan of Premiership. No, that is just sport. The business of it, no, is a completely different thing. There's a reason why the NBA and the FIBA rules are different. There's a reason why the NFL and R5 rules are different for tackle football. There's a reason why Premiership explores a different set of rules than what the World Cup will use. There's a whole difference. Because some tournaments are set up for talent, some tournaments are set up for entertainment. They're very different businesses.
Wow. I will go to this and say, what has been the most difficult leadership decision you have made when it comes to launching Showtime?
Most difficult. I don't think there can be anyone more difficult than the time 8 out of 12 teams decided to leave. I think for me, I think what happened, and that comes down to how grounded Showtime was. If what happened to Showtime happened to the Premiership or the NFL or anywhere, it's going to be dead. We had 12 teams, 8 people said we're going, and guess what? We just continued the business like it was never there. Because the first thing for me was to understand, and I told the team that, I said, first thing, the day we founded Showtime, we created a model that irrespective, even if all of us disappear, it will run, the sport will run. And our aim was simply, we kept asking ourselves, how do we create a self-sustaining sport that even when you have 0 dime in your pocket, you can run it? And it will remain at the standard it was going to remain. And we figured that model out. So one of the things that basically started happening was that decision was and it was between 2 things. It was either say no to structure and let peace reign, or hold on to structure and let the division happen. So we were fine. We were like, okay, you know what? For me, I cannot exist in a place where there's no structure. My name, my reputation cannot be put in a place where there's no structure to it. I'm like, okay, so we have to keep the structure. And the structure we required was simply, we needed every member of the team, every team to become a business. And because we're not sure what people were doing. A lot of people were basically running, we call it teams, but you don't know what people are doing on the side. They were, and we're in a country where anybody could just do anything to, get money under the table, launder money here, launder money there. You don't know who is what. And we said, no, we're not going to tolerate that. If you're going to be partner with us, we need you to create a business. Run that business will have a CSE document, will have everything, a bank account and all those sort of things. So before you do anything, we gave everybody about 6 to 12 months, if I'm not mistaken. 12 months, about, or 12 months. We gave everybody about 12 months, said, please fix this. You need to go right. But people didn't do it. And they were like, oh no. And we made it clear, if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to earn money. You're not going to be able to get anything from the league. And I know if you don't pay us, we're not going to do it anyways. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work. We would keep structure. We would keep what should be kept. And no matter what, we'll never deviate from it. Because there's a saying that whatever you're not going to, Yorubas always say it, that whatever you're not going to take when you're a poor man, when you're a rich man, you start doing it when you're a poor. When we are small, we can easily fix structure as we go. Because when you get bigger, things start, a lot of variables come in. So for us, it was like, okay, are we going to say people can be unruly? And then the people started saying, no, we're going to leave. How are you going to run the league? Or like, okay, we'll see. Maybe we'll not run the league. Maybe we'll not survive. Maybe we'll survive. It was a scary. I'm not going to see that. So yeah, we figured it. No, we didn't. But a lot of people came to the table. And that was the first time for me that I saw that some people actually care about this more, about this sport and its success more than anything. So a lot of people came forward. They want to help. So many people came and said, okay, you know what, I'm going to take this team. I'm going to run on your behalf of that. It was amazing, the support we got. But yeah, were those guys right in any way? Maybe, I don't know. I don't think anybody in their own little space think they are wrong. I might be the one that's, structure. They might be the one that's right for me. But all I can tell you is that when that division happened, these guys went and said they want to play a certain sport somewhere. I can tell you for sure, they took everything we had. The same structure, they say, oh yeah, we don't like it. They started doing it. So yeah, maybe the structure didn't work. Or maybe people just wanted to own what they don't own.
Okay, maybe to put the record straight, why did these 8 people leave?
Well, you never really know because they never really spoke to us. We just finished the tournament, but like, oh, I'm aware they issued a letter somewhere, but I didn't read it. I am a very direct person. I don't do all this. He said. And we tried to organize about 3-4 meetings with them, but they never showed up. Let's dialogue, let's this. They didn't leave. We expelled them from the league. I think that needs to be clear. There was never a case where anybody left Showtime. It was that Showtime expelled 8 teams. Then it was 7 teams. We expelled 7 teams, and that's it. There was no leave. So we sent them a notice. You didn't show up. Here is your. And it was published. Eventually, we had to take it down because we felt we've done what we needed to do. We just kept it a close with the same. We expelled the 8 teams, and we just said, "Thank you very much. Go to your business outside." And it wasn't really because for me, when you try to talk to somebody first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, nobody, or maybe I don't know, maybe it was up to 5 or 4, something. They never showed up. We have to run the business, and no human being should hold an organization or a bunch of people to hostage because to ransom because you feel, oh yeah, I feel I have one power. I remember then I always get these whole messages where they would tell me they should be the one owning the league, they should be the one running the league, they should be, and these are basically documented there. Or we want to be the one to own the league. You just run the administrative side. And I'm like, okay, in what world does that happen? I don't. Oh yeah, there's one model somewhere where the NFL owners own the league, and I'm like, you're not the NFL. You don't own 20. You don't own 32 stadiums. You don't own. You're not billionaires. You're not. So, but guess what? This is a different model. This is what we're on. So, if you don't like it, up to you. So it wasn't a functional. So we just had to let them go and say, okay, you know what? Thank you very much. And guess what? The funny thing, what got me really funny was that So we had said that initially they had said because we weren't paying them their money. And this was the funny thing. I told you 6 months or 12 months before time, go register your company. If you don't register, you will not get your money. 6 months later, you come and say, oh, we don't have bank account, but we need to get our money now, personal account. And I said, no, it's not going to happen. So, and along the line, when we had that, and what was funny, of the people that left, some of them came at the back, sent their account number, got their money. But they never told everybody else. Some of them came and said, oh, help us pay to the other guy. And I'm like, no, we're not going to pay to the other guy. Some people said, we have our account, we're not going to come to you. We don't want unless you're paying everybody. And we said, okay, suit yourself. But some people, we even offered to create account for people. We offered to help provide services to say, we'll register the company for you. If you really cannot register a company, we would help you procure that service. Just to make sure you're compliant. We will offer you that service. And then when we offer you, we would pay into the bank account you open based on that. They said no. So it was almost like there was another agenda. Yes. And I was like, okay, no worries. So we just had to say, guy, you cannot work with us anymore. Please leave. And we got rid of the teams.
Wow. Well, talking about having structure, I see from your school of thought, you believe that let's have a structure and keep growth. While other people just feel that, okay, why structure? Let's just move and keep peace or just have something. And when you even mention registration, it brings to my mind what happened when GTI came into the league, talking about the Nigerian Professional League. And there's a starting payment that they want to decide to pay to the team, 20 million as at that time. And we discovered that 70% of the league are not registered. And GTI said that we cannot pay money into private account. You guys should do the right thing. You can't be running a business without a registration. I think.
No, let me even make it funny for you. You run an organization. You claim that you spend a certain amount. You see people saying, "Oh, we spend this amount of money." And you're like, "Where is the documentation that you spent it? Where you were paying from? Maybe you were paying the guy to go do some extra work for you, but you claim it is this. That is basically outright misappropriation. But it's fine. I'm not going to be in the place where somebody will come and say, "Oh, you've been funding an illegal operation based on your league." And I'm going to be like, how? "Oh, this guy is doing this. For heaven's sake, you want to run a company? Go to CAC, register that company, and come forward. It's simple as that. No, it's as bad as if I paid you that money privately, how are you going to? Because I have no obligation over it. Zero. I'm just going to sit down and say, this is XYZ. I've paid you. And guess what? The first season, we paid privately. Second season, we paid privately. Third season, we said, no, it's not going to happen. We would pay you. So if you want to say it's because I don't want to pay you. The first season, you collected your money. You are not owed. Second season, you collected your money. You are not owed. Why do you think I don't want to pay you in the third season? Because of what? So if you eventually now say, "Oh yeah," hold your opinion, but you only have a voice when you've complied. You cannot tell me you are breaking the law, or you want to tell the police why would they arrest you. Before you complain about police corruption, comply first. Don't break the law. Then you say police is corrupt. Okay, what did they do? I don't mean police is corrupt. I'm just saying just examples. Before you say, "Oh, one system is bad," you need to not be on the wrong side of it. But you can't say, "I'm breaking the law," or "I'm breaking your rules." But guess what? You don't know what you're doing. Oh, really? Doesn't work like that.
Oh, you know, when you talk about structure, at least I also have a personal experience with that structure, knowing fully well that you are working with the league and the league is paying you, and you feel that there's a shortcut for you jumping from one seat to another, and I discover that you have to pay a certain amount for not taking the right position. So structure even capture almost everybody in the league.
Yes.
So, okay, structure leads us to growth. And talking about growth, I say flag football has grown rapidly in Nigeria over the past few years. And what do you think has driven this growth more than anything else?
Okay, so when we say flag football has grown, I don't believe flag football has grown a lot. Personally. Yeah, we've done I like what we've done with Showtime. Really like it. But when something grows, you extend the number of people, places it's being played. Before I found that Showtime was being played in Lagos, was being played in Abuja. Now it's really only being played in those two places. Maybe they're enthusiasts in different places. Oh wait, I know some few people there that want to. I know some people in Ibadan. I know some people in Ogun State. I know some people everywhere that are trying to create these pockets of, oh, want to do flag football, want to do flag football, but it doesn't work like that. The growth right now is first of all the grassroots is moving a bit. You know, I've seen people tell me, oh yeah, it's flag football is in multiple states. Yeah, they are, but the point concentration of that whole growth is still around those places it is being played. What would make more sense is that eventually we start focusing on the development of the grassroots structure. We need to stop the claim of grassroots development. There is no grassroots development going on. We go out to places to go and say we're doing this or that or this or this. Different people go out to places to say they're going to go, but there is no real development. Development does not come by one tournament here, one tiny 2 days here, one thing. No, that will kill the sport. It comes when we all say, okay, you know what? What is the structure of making a person go from, because you develop a sport when somebody can go from being a 2-year-old to 50-year-old and there is a lifespan for them in the sport. That is growth. But because if I take football now, I can be a 2-year-old that is I like football. There is a system and lifespan for me to go through the entire chain all my life to get to 50-year-old in football.
Okay, you just mentioned grassroots, and I think that takes me to my next question. From grassroots to elite competition, where do you think Nigeria is strongest right now in flag football, and where does it still need the most work?
If I think we would beat most countries in the world if we pick our best players. I can tell you for sure. If we take our best players, we would really stand. I think we're like top 5 in the whole world as far as flag football is concerned. But guess what? We still need to focus on making sure kids in school can say, I want to grow up to be a flag football person. I said this to in a room when I was founding Showtime. I said, I want to be able to create something where somebody can say, I want to be a flag football player. And every team owner in that team, except for maybe 2, 3 of them, laughed at me. People come and say, okay, you know what? Oh, Showtime is Showtime. Everybody says Showtime, Showtime. But guess what? The only reason a player today, and I'm not saying this out of context, I am saying this with my entire confidence behind it, is able to have a contract that you say, this contract is mine and I am entitled to this pay today in flag football. It's because Showtime exists. Because that was one of the things we made sure everybody had. You must have a contract. It was a big fight. But guess what? We had to make sure, because if the kids, because every time when I came to flag football back then, I always watch, somebody sit on the high table and just say, hey, you come and go and get me that thing. It was almost like a master slave structure. I'm sorry to say, but that was what it looked like. It was like, oh, I'm paying your bills, oh, go do this for me. I was like, so I remember saying to somebody one day, and I said, it was like after all I've done to the player, and I said, but you've not done anything to him. The player played for you, you paid him for that service. No, I said, so what did you do? I paid his school fees, but what if he didn't play for you? Would you pay the school fees? This big man attitude was really one of the most infuriating things for me. To say, why would somebody want to be Lord over another man that is giving him value? I can't get it. Like, why this whole mentality that we have in Nigeria to say, oh, yeah, I'm a big man. Oh, I paid you for that. Yes, if you see, don't get me wrong, we all have our measure of pride in our lives. I'm not saying when you pay people, be just a, but you need to understand that you are paying them for that service. So it was becoming a case of, oh, after all I've done for him, he should never do this. He's not loyal. And I said, no. First things first, because then there was no contract to the payment. So it was almost like I am helping you. You see people, players, elite players were calling to say, please, can I get him on? Can I get, because they couldn't even feed themselves. So I said, okay, you know what? We as a group, we're not going to do that. We are going to make sure we pay players. Because if the league today, at least minimum on the teams we the league fund, we even minimum will pay you transportation. Minimum. So it's and nobody is like a structure, like there's a system. Drop your name, drop your account number, drop this, the money gets to you, XYZ. Sometimes they're like, oh yeah, he's late, he's not coming. Okay, no problem, but he will get to you anyways. So all those sort of things. It's not you don't owe me a thing, I don't owe you anything. All I owe you, when we interchange, is simply you play, I pay. The same way Ronaldo goes to Al-Nassr, he plays, they pay. End of story. But I am not your Lord. I am not your king. I'm not your uncle. I'm not your father. I'm not your principal or whatever they call those things. The point is, I am only one guy telling you, I think you're a talented dude. Come play for us. This is how much we're going to offer you. Do you think it works for you? Simple stuff. Because that should be where sport starts from. You can never keep up this idea of, oh yeah, I helped you. I helped you. Yesterday you wanted to go to the hospital, I gave you money. We mandated HMO. Do you know how many people complained to that? In the first season of Showtime, my foundation had to contribute to the HMO to say, okay, we're going to finance this for people. The reason being, we're like, okay, if we're going to, let's lead. It's not a case of trying to be anything. I've seen people who basically, people open their mouth and say, oh, but guess what? Some of you, when you had that headache, when you had that breaking leg, if the HMO was not there in the first place, it might be easy to just say, let's move on, let's go on this, let's go on that. I don't think we have full compliance on that structure, but next year, that's one of the rules we're going to be employing, because now we're getting into the serious point to say, we need to start enforcing the rules to make sure you abide by the rules. And you could ask me, how does that now impact the cost structure of the team? It does. And the one thing that still keeps us awake now is how do we make the teams viable? How do we keep them sustainable going forward? Well, yeah, that's maybe a story for with this thing.
To this next question, you have often spoken about infrastructure being the backbone of true sports industry. Why is infrastructure so central to Showtime long-term plans?
Well, I think for me, it's like, so I'll give you a very simple example. When we started Showtime, we wanted to create an experience online that was just TV experience that was really good, because we felt that was all we could try, right? And I remember sitting with the what's it called, production engineers, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna need like 10 camera angles." We're like, "Wow, okay, so let's rent." We said we're gonna rent. They gave us a bill. In fact, the person that gave us the bill was a team owner. Said, "I'll collect 12 million naira per season." And I said, 12 million just for. I said, okay, something is wrong. I went online, search cameras, sports cameras. I said the same camera they were going to use for us. And the next thing I'm like, oh, we could buy it. We raised money to get it there, and we said, okay, now we're going to buy the infrastructure. So our media was set to boom, version 1. We went and said, before then, when it was recreational, We always struggle. Oh, it's 1 minute time. It was 0.02. So, no, we're not going to do that. Ordered scoreboard, 3 scoreboards. So, okay, no, we have scoreboards now. We said, but much more, we're like, it was important for us to say, if we're going to claim our position in the world, we needed to be able to say, this is the home of flag football. We need to be able to host a team from anywhere in the world and say, come play. We have the infrastructure to play. We need to be able to get people to say, this is us. We want to do an invitational tournament for you from anywhere in the world, come play. And we didn't want something that would just be, oh, you're a goddamn, we're those Nigerians. No, we wanted to do something that at least, even if it's not, we're a startup. We didn't have all the money in the world, but we raised enough to be able to say, this is what we're going to do now. We said, okay, no, with this we have, we're just going to build what we can build. And guess what? We did it. So it's important because if the sport does not have the infrastructure, then the only thing that is available is nothing. There is nothing available. Imagine football in UK without stadiums. And every Saturday you have to go and be renting stadiums and say, where are we going to play tomorrow? We don't know. We need to go and. We've seen it in the NPFL. Everybody rushing for one stadium. Schedules are moved all over the place. We've never moved a schedule. Ever. I can tell you the day we are going to do next season and the season after that, for the next 5 seasons, I can tell you the date. Now, and nothing is going to move.
Oh, okay. That takes us to the next question. Showtime has invested heavily in arena, broadcasting, and facility. What message does this send to player, sponsor, and international partners?
Well, to the players, it's the same message. We would give you that platform to perform at your peak. End the story. Nothing more. To the sponsors, we always want to make you have your money's worth. When you come to Showtime, no, we don't only give you sponsorship for flag football. We have an arena that basically hosts maybe about, if I'm not mistaken, 21,000 eyeballs every week. Every week, 21,000 eyes are going to go through Showtime Arena. So guess what? We put that there. Beyond that, the international partners is basically. I saw the I5 African Championship. It was hosted in a stadium, a football stadium, and I kept asking myself, why would people were sitting 20,000 miles away using phone to go live on IG, on Instagram, and I was like, it shows the world. We are way ahead of our world. What we've done in the past 3 years is what the NFL as a big organization is just trying to do in 2027. I see people say, oh, NFL is investing 2 million. No. We've been investing significantly from before now. We've done that like this. You understand? We've climbed our ladder. We don't need to. And the NFL is still needing years to do it. So for me, I think it's about time we start staying proud of what we got. I think we as a country, we've done an amazing job. And this is not, if you go to Abuja Flag too, they've done amazing stuff there. So yeah, our aim is, how do we keep this going to be able to make sure that even if the world is taking one step tomorrow, we are taking 1,000.
Well, we know that it's all about the actors, and the actors are the athletes. And my next question goes this way. Do you believe Nigerian athletes can genuinely make a living on flag football in the near future?
They currently do. But I think the highest paid athlete in flag football now, I think it's about $1 million a month he makes. I think so. Or close to that. It's about $1 million a month. And I know people that are in the 500,000
Flag football
players in Showtime.
Are you serious?
In Showtime, yes. There are people, and I can tell you there's another person that is on 500,000. There's another person that is on 350,000 a month. They make that money to show up there to play. So they already do make a living. There is a lot of people who get into this, and there's still some people that could have some improvement. I think as time goes on, as money comes in more, we'll start, I think in the next 1, 2 years, that minimum wage will move from, I think our minimum right now, if you add it all together, including transportation, everything, you basically end up maybe around about 80 grand, thereabout, should be the minimum actual athlete side. That is like, so, and I'll put it into two phases. There is some athletes that are very, so we don't, I feel they're new to the game. So most of them will basically just be on the transportation salary structure, whereby we pay you weekly wage, you get your money, you go. You understand? And then there is now the athletes that have been, non-rookies that are now more, and those go really, really, really high. Especially, when you win the tournament, you win about what? The winner gets 6 million. The winner of the community cup, and what's it called? Gets 2 million naira in prizes, exclusive, including the rings. There's quite. If you put everything together, total winning should be about 25 million for the winning team, because the trophy those are huge, costs. Now, beyond that, these athletes, they've been able to see that there is opportunity now. So they spend their time negotiating. They spend their time signing the right contract. They spend their time making sure they get the right compensation at every point and all those sort of things. Female athletes, I know female athletes that earn maybe about 250, 350 thereabout. I think so. I think the highest is about, around that area. And those sort of things. So there are people in flag football that are genuinely making a
living
out of it.
So the message to athletes out there, if you're not making living from other sports, flag football is promising you something.
Every athlete is welcome. I think the good thing about this sport is that, people always have this mind that it's very high. We know the sport more than everybody else. So I'm like, no, you don't. You watch the sport more than everybody else. You might think you know the sport more than everybody else. But an athlete has one thing. All an athlete needs is, because the instinct is there. Athlete instinct you can never replace, no matter who you are. The best guy, the highest jumping person in the entire flag football league in Nigeria, never played flag football like 2 years ago. He has never seen the football before. 2 years ago, he was playing basketball. Guess what? He's one of the best players you have now. The best quarterback I have seen play this game. You understand? And I'll tell you, didn't know about flag football 3 years ago. Yeah, two and a half years ago. A good athlete is a good athlete, no matter what you say. Because a good instinct, nothing can replace it. So
That takes us to the next question. Showtime has reached thousands of young people through clinic, camp, and league. You go to the street. Why is youth development non-negotiable for you?
Because everybody will go old. The players we have now, no matter how good they are, they'll get old. If you're not creating a pass-through system, no league in the world is a station. No. Premiership, there was a time there was postcodes, there was this, there was that. They moved on. Other people, you need to create a sustainable, it's like a rolling, it's like you jump on it, you are rolling out every time. Because if I keep one player for the next 7 years, how would I get people to develop? It is one of my big battles with people, right? Everybody will tell me, okay, you know what? No, they don't understand the sport. And I'm like, I'm confused. So you understand the sport enough that you were born with it? No, you were not. Even with the one you say you understand, you probably still don't understand it as much. So what do you know? There is nobody in the world today that has run professional flag football as an organization. I am the only one. Showtime is the only one. Yes, in the world.
Are you sure?
I am 99%, 99.999% sure. That 0.1% is a yes.
I think they are running it in Canada.
No, it's not professional. It is recreational.
You are sure of what you're saying?
Well, maybe I might be wrong. But I can tell you, anybody that tells me, I know the sport, tell me which one you played. It is recreational. You've not played it at this level ever before. You might have played rugby, you might have played American football in college, you might have played all those sort of things. I don't care. I can tell you 1 billion%, you have never played flag football before, professionally. So if you tell me, oh no, this is not the way the sport is run, bro, you don't know. So it's the reason why, if you look at Showtime, we basically start tweaking the rules a lot, because not because we want to just say, oh yeah, I want to disrupt it. No, it's because when we have an entire research team, you understand, working on, okay, what is entertaining? Then a bunch of people just sitting down to look at. It's not entertaining enough. This one is good. Some of them volunteers that are basically just sitting down there saying, I want to help. Some just our staff. But the aim is we look at it and just say, okay, you know what? This is it's not entertaining enough. Can we tweak this? Can we tweak that? Can we tweak this? There's a reason why when you watch a Showtime game, it's almost like it's intense. You could feel the energy. People finish the game and collapse because they've run. I've seen it. You saw the semifinals. People finished the game and they were bursting into tears. Right here in Lagos. I'm not sure I've seen tears in NTFN. But the point is, it's happening. So if the passion is there, the athletes are there, the infrastructure is there, then the entertainment is there. There's nothing stopping us. And those are the things we basically cap to say, we know how to do this. How do we now make sure we drive the trajectory forward?
So let me throw this at you.
Tell me.
I say, how does Showtime ensure that young players see flag football not just as hobby, but as a pathway to education, career, and global exposure?
Because see, you will never be able to do that if you don't create a structure that follows a certain system. You know, some people say, okay, go to schools, make sure so and so. No, I don't agree that is the way through. Because I can tell you for sure, I grew up in a place where Pius Cicadia was. Pius Cicadia went to community grammar school. It was a set above my sister back then. I can tell you for sure. I can't even remember one thing the school did for us. The streets. Nigeria has streets. Our street is where the talent are. Yes, they went through the school, but if you don't pay school fees, you're not in school, right? Guess what? The people selling akara daily, selling this, selling the hawking stuff, they go afterwards, they go play sport. And those are the big talent are in that place. Go check everybody. See how many Nigerians came through school now. How many people signed to premiership came through school, or school scholarship coming here, or school something? No. You do programs in Kaduna, in Kano, people show up and you're like, hey, this guy can play. But guess what? The only way you're going to do that is to start giving a structure to say, me as a sport, can people wake up one day and say, if I play this sport, I can feed my family? Until we can all answer that question, there is no sport going anywhere. And that is the real idea. Sport is basically bring people together. And the players are the reason they do come together. So when the players become the beacon of joy, hope, entertainment to people, then that kid on the street to say, I really want to stand somewhere one day and lift that trophy. I want to stand there somewhere and win that ring. I want to stand there someday and do this, do that. That is the idea.
That is the idea. And that takes me to, I hope you'll be able to answer this well for me. So what advice would you give to young Nigerians choosing flag football over more traditional sports?
Okay, so for me, I think if it's about should you choose football or flag football, I'll tell you, it depends on which one you're good at. Yes. If it's about if you've chosen flag football, and what advice would I give you? I'll say grind, practice, learn. I think the big problem we have in Nigeria, the athletes have in Nigeria, is that our training are mostly structured in the sense that I train when there is practice, I play when there is game. But until my biggest dream for flag football is the day I'm driving around Ikorodu and I see two boys throwing balls to themselves. Bye-bye. Because that then is when the sport has become a thing. Now, it's a sport. It's played in Ekate. It's played in Abuja. That's it. And that's all. Nothing more. So, but we need to get it to the point where we are like, I want to basically go into that place. We want to go and watch that sport on a Sunday. That's when you've won. Now, no, we've not.
Okay, that takes us away from youth development and pathway. Let's now go to governance, unity, and federation issues.
Again.
There has been a lot of public conversation around governance, unity, and representation in Nigerian flag football. From your perspective, why is unity so important right now?
Okay, so I think the easiest example that I would give is I know Nigeria won the African Championship, but I think in the entire flag football community, the best players didn't play. If there is no unity, you don't merit goes to there's no merit. Everybody just goes with what they want and all those sort of things. Everybody there, unity is important because it preserves the entire structure. As everybody can have equal hope and say, if I am good, I will be here. If I am not good, I will be here. But you can never have a system where people feel like I should be the one in that shoe, but because I am not doing this, or because this is not my friend, or because that one is not this. We went to play against, with all due respect to Egypt to play the Morocco. With all due respect to them, if they ever travel to Nigeria, they can mark my word. To play one showtime team, they will receive 60-0. With what I saw there, 60. If it is less, I will lose my money. It's not a function of anything. The players, we can never be the team that scores 16. 16 in the final, we have to be really bad. We will score 70 on that team. Because I know for sure. But guess what? For as long as we don't have complete harmony between when everyone doesn't feel like my opinion is represented, players represented, coaches represented. It's the reason why the NSC has that structure for federation. You have a coaching person. You have everybody. The leagues in Abuja, everywhere they're represented. And we say, okay, yes, we are doing this in your interest. Players can then have hope. That kid in school that say, I want to play one day for Nigeria. I know that if I am good, this is where I'm going to play. And I will play for XYZ. But imagine if Jude Bellingham cannot play for England because he plays in Spain. You know what that means? It is never again work. It is now, it's something, it's a shit show.
So how do you respond to players and stakeholders who are confused about who truly represent Nigeria in flag football?
There is no federation. I think that's clear. I think the NSC issued a statement a while back. And I'll mention this outrightly. NAFA has said to people who are a federation, they are not a federation. They've never been recognized. They've never been anything by Nigeria. Yes, and I think it's a bit of history is good. When NAFA left Shitsuke Flag Football, which is the former Showtime, when NAFA left, they created Nigerian Secondary School Flag Football League. And from there, Babajide went ahead, registered with IFAF. There was no flag football anything then. Who cares about federation? Babajide himself, I'm saying this on camera, told me his aim is to play tackle football. Yeah, it's not on paper anyway, but I'm saying it on camera. You can come and tell me different. Tell anybody in the world I didn't say it, but it's fine. He himself said it to me that I want to play tackle football. But guess what? Flag football became the thing and everybody got interested, which is great stuff. But why now say, oh, I remember last season during the season before, people were being told if you play in Showtime, you're not going to not play for the national team. If you play in Showtime, so if you don't leave Showtime to go play anywhere NAFA wants you to play, you will not play for you will not play for the national team. And you keep wondering, okay, then you now say, okay, yes, there's one, but All those things. Why? Why do we need to? So I can say again, now there was no federation. I remember we're chasing a federation site, which was called Nigerian Flag Football Federation. We got an NOC. We're the first person. We got to get an NOC letter of provisional recognition to say you are now able to create a federation. And afterwards, I think NAFA also got his same letter a few days later, a few months later afterwards. But we didn't publicize it. We just felt it was not required. Now, NOC pulled those letters. They pulled my own, the one we're running. They pulled NAFA's own. They pulled everybody and said, you've not met the provisional recognition criteria. So these letters are hereby withdrawn. Now, that being said, the NSC issued a press release, said there would be an election of the parties. It's in the news. Everybody just pick Google and issue and look at it. There'll be an election of who is going to be on the body of this thing. And to make matters worse, so I think a time in September, the NSC invited us, me, myself, one of the team owners, BB, and NAFA to Abuja and said, we need to get into a federation structure, let everything be this. And we agreed on the positions. In that meeting, that same meeting, it was agreed NAFA would take, there were 13 seats. NAFA was going to take 7 seats, basically. Showtime would take 3. Abuja Flag would take 3. NAFA rejected. He said, no, we want to be the only one. There's a picture, I'm sure in this video you can show. There's a picture of me, Lawrence, BB, and NAFA's lawyer with the DG of NSC. So if they didn't tell anybody all those things, they rejected and said, no, we want all the seats. We will give you 1 each. You see, it doesn't, these things, what I said one time, we're on a call one time trying to iron this thing out. And I told President of NAFA, I said, in the next 5 years, the only thing at least me, I won't be sitting on this board. I will be elsewhere. I will be doing other things. Somebody else will be elected. So whatever you think we are holding on to is completely useless. There's nothing. Let's make these kids have a go. And then people tell me, oh, they went to Egypt, so and so. And I'll be very clear on this thing. I can confirm this to you, that for Nigeria to go to that Egypt, the NSC, if you check the press release that was done, it was that we had to be, all of us had to say, yes, we are okay with them going. It wasn't we did it ourselves. No. If we had said no, there will never be a team Nigeria in Egypt. But I know how much work those kids have put into it. I can tell you 1 billion %. This is something that we said, yes, they can go. Because it was either we say no, and there was no endorsement to take Nigeria out of the team, and there is nobody going, or we say yes, and we just leave it be. Then we come and arrange it when it comes. The day NAFA was taking the team Nigeria to the DG's office, I was invited. And I said, I am not coming. Because I know for sure what's the use of I said, no problem, they can go, it's fine. The kids have put it, because sometimes you need to put your ego, put it under the seat, and let people that have worked enjoy themselves. You can never be the reason those kids didn't win that trophy. At least I will never be the reason. I hear this thing that they said, oh, if the name NAFA changes to Flag Football Federation of Nigeria, that was the name we agreed at the NSC. Me and NAFA, Showtime, or Nigerian Flag Football Federation, as we call ourselves back then, and NAFA agreed that we're going to do a Flag Football Federation of Nigeria. Guess what? If the name changes from NAFA, they are going to ban Nigeria. You are a private organization. Why are you trying to represent yourself as the country? But I understand that people have different reasons for doing stuff, and I understand whatever motive NAFA has as they have it. I don't have a problem with it. But we've kept quiet about this thing for a long time, and we kept confusing everybody all over the place. I can tell anybody, if anybody has a reason, please, I ask anybody that is a good stakeholder of flag football, walk your way to the NSC and ask a simple question. Is there a federation for flag football in Nigeria? Because as it stands now, if the federation is not made, I can tell anybody there is never going to be the name Nigeria anywhere going out because only the NSC can do that. And it's a lot of mess. So, but the point is, and the question I kept asking, I remember having a conversation with one of the people from NAFA, and I said, what is the legacy you are hoping you're going to create? I say no to harmony. We have had, personally, the NSC has called at least 4 meetings to make sure we could come, all of us. Everybody has said, okay, let's come. NAFA has said no. NAFA can come, and I am open to receiving any information from NAFA where they've said, where they can prove to me. And they said yes. Because every time, you keep writing letter to me. Oh, showtime. Register with us. And I'm like, register with who? It's not going to happen. Nigerian team left for Nigeria and they were wearing Tottenham jersey. Imagine Super Eagles were leaving for Nigeria. This is the most embarrassing thing we've done ever as a community of flag. The Nigerian team, my own country, left Nigeria and wore a Cleveland Browns jersey. The jersey of a team in the US. I don't think our generation will ever forgive us for that. Me, I can tell you, they will never. We've basically broken the single oath that we owe to this country. You wore a jersey of a foreign entity and call it Nigeria. It is very sad, but let's leave that aside. But yeah.
Let's leave that aside. With all what you have said now, what role should a private league, associations, and government bodies each play in building a sustainable federation?
I don't think they have. Everybody should just do their job. The federation needs to exist. The FA in England exists, but the Premier League they do their job anyways. Everybody should just go and focus on. If you feel like your own league is a throwing ball in the air, go and do your job. Make it good. But let the federation be something that represents the voice of all stakeholders. Simple stuff. It's as simple as that. You can't continue to say, oh yeah, we have a federation, but it's only when you play here, you get this. When you play here, you get that. When you don't play here, oh, wait, shut up. When you play here, no, it doesn't work that way. It's the reason why Sport World actually went and said, we need federation. And this is the reason. So let me tell you why private organization is bad for federation. Because you cannot elect the members of a private organization. They exist. They are just the ones. Let's assume a world where we say NAFA is the federation in Nigeria. You want to tell Babajide not to own this company? I'm confused. What do you want to do? Oh yeah, we are a non-governmental association. Did you register with CSC? Did you register yourself as a shareholder? Are you electable? You understand? In what way did you get the nation's mandate to say, go, I am making you represent me? Nigeria is structured in some things. One of the things is basically the way they hand out the name Nigeria. They don't hand it out easy. At least back then, maybe it used to be easy. Now, it's not easy at all. You get it when you deserve it. So, if you come to me and say, oh, I'm a private organization, but I'm representing Nigeria. Where is the contract with Nigeria?
You have publicly acknowledged the role of National Sport Commission.
Yes.
In all your talk, what has their involvement meant for the stability and future of the sport?
I think they provided quite a bit of perspective. Honestly, I think I think I admire the way NSC has really handled this situation. I think one of the things, even for me as a person, it was always this whole guns blazing, let's all just argue and fight. But I think when we started having the meetings, I realized that we're not the only federation that has an issue in Nigeria. There are many people who believe they should be the one representing the sport. You understand? I felt we should be the one representing flag football. NAFA feels the same. We all have our share of blame in all these things. But every time I look at it, the first thing I tell myself is there must never be a time where we forget the principle of dialogue. We forget the principle. And that's one thing the NSC has done to say, okay, all of you come. What do you think? They called us into a room. We agreed how we are going to do things. We left Abuja. Boom. No, we don't agree. We don't want to do it again. They came and said, okay, you know what? What else? Okay, what do you want? We want to do. I remember being on a call once and they said, I need you guys to talk. And the representative from NAFA said, we're just going to give you guys one role. You come to our office, we'll give you one role in the federation, and then you step aside. And I'm like, but that's the point. We need to understand that the NSC's role, right? They've basically been able to, and I admire the patience. I've seen some things that were said on those calls where people get angry, and I'm like, oh wow, are we going to be? But okay, tomorrow they're like, okay, you know what? Everybody's now calm. Let's come back again. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, it's for me. One thing I could tell you is, at the end of the day, I think where we all erred was that at the beginning of this sport, but nobody knew it was going to be this big.
Mm.
We could have gone and said, guys, NSC, we need your help. Let's put a federation in place. We did it. Since we didn't, that's in the past. But now there needs to be a proper federation that represents everybody.
Now, talking about a proper federation, what does you think this change for athletes, league, and then Nigeria international credibility?
Okay, so first things first. If you have a federation, you're able to create what's it called? Because what that would do is that you're able to create a national league, for example, whereby different leagues now have
Just like the MPFL.
Yeah. Showtime has a lot of resource, as far as I'm concerned. Abuja Flag has a lot of resource. I'm sure NAFA has a lot. When you put all that to the table, it's bigger than one. I can tell you free of charge. It is extremely bigger than one. I think so. The idea is whatever this idea of, oh, it must be me that is doing this, is completely one of the things. And again, another area of this is that I remember a lot of players will come and say, oh, they've told us NAFA is the one that can take us to Egypt. We can't play in Showtime. We need to just hold on to it. During our playoffs, I remember there was a WhatsApp message I got in the morning, and that was where I decided to call the NSC into the conversation. And the WhatsApp message says, if you play in any league, because you're preparing for the national, we were doing playoffs. Imagine, what's it called? CAF, playing to all African players. If you play in any league, Champions League final, play in any league, you will not play in CAF again. In any CAF organized this thing. Imagine it. I got that message. And the players could not play. First leg of playoffs, he can't spot. Their most valuable player, Farouk, did not play. Because he was told if he plays in any league, he's not going to go to the national team. So yeah, all these things, left, right, center, here and there and there. Everybody just needs to come, put their egos, put it in their pocket, and say, how do we prioritize this sport above anything else? Because if we can't do that, we are putting the lives and what's it called? Future of those kids at risk. And for me, for as long as, by God's grace, I am involved in this, that's not going to happen. Nigeria would go to Germany. Nigeria would go to the Olympics under the right governance. And yeah, you can tell me IFAF can ban us. Yes, but we'll fly to IFAF head office. They ban us, I'm going to go to IOC myself and go and say, we'll unban ourselves. No worries.
We will surely unban ourselves. And that takes us to international exposure and partnership. Showtime has attracted global attention and partnership. Why do you think international organizations are paying attention to Nigeria now?
Because it's unbelievable. It's literally, you're asking yourself, I remember somebody telling me, he said, you told me you were doing this in Nigeria. I'm like, nah, it's not possible. Then I watched it, I'm like, nah, that can't be Nigeria. Then I saw it and I'm like, what? I have an NFL coach that comes down to the game sometimes. He's a former NFL coach. And he basically tells me, he says, every time I come here, it's almost like you guys are spending He watches mostly online, but he's always very committed to this. And he's like every time he's like, there's always one thing changing that's making the game just better. And that the experience for him is so he's always also into the idea of okay, why not try to also add this to it, add this to it. But the reason I'm trying is that when you look at it, you're like a bunch of we've not raised a dime from anybody. We created a self-sustaining league that sustains itself, finances itself, everything, and it entertains itself and entertains its stakeholders. Yeah, they're paying attention because I feel we've done something worthy of their attention. Nobody like to waste their time. I don't. If you're looking at us, it's because we feel we've done something that is worth your time. So I really trust me. I'm really proud of the team. I tell people I don't do anything in short time. I'm just the guy that fight all the fights. If you want to fight your time, you see me in front. But behind those are the guys that those guys are crazy. They do everything. They like because guess what? When people believe in a dream, you can never kill it, no matter what. And it's something I've learned. We've gone to the point where we're almost bankrupt before. And I remember sitting people down, they're like, don't worry, we got you, we are doing this. I can tell you for sure. Let me make you fun. I've gone to a meeting before where I said, okay, you know what? Today, I'm going to fire you, this guy. And the guy is like, just give me one more shot. We got this, we're going to do this. We drive each other crazy, oh. But guess what? We only know how to do one thing, we walk. That one, we don't joke. And that we will never joke because we owe our stakeholders that obligation to deliver that value to them. And that for me is the most important factor.
So, how important are international competitions and pathways like African Championship and World Games to Showtime mission?
Well, it's very important. Our players, having players play at those things is good. It's amazing. And I think every day, I think everyone's dream is if you're an athlete, you have that dream of okay, one day you can play for your nation. It's good. And I think what is also way more important is to also have to grow the league to the point where we could also attract talent from outside, from grassroots, from everywhere, and become that league where everybody wants to play. And over the next 5 years, that's one of the things we're really prioritizing. It's quite important that we have this global projection as a league to say when we're online, we're basically showing your brand to. We've been watching about 60 countries now, and it's from what we've seen in stats. And our aim is if everybody in the world knows about
the
us,
league.
and it's a good start. So we want to keep working towards that. So these affiliations and partnerships they're extremely important to us. But at the same time, it doesn't take away from the we protect our culture so much to the point that everything we do is for moving this sport forward in Nigeria. And I was on a radio interview with a lady in the US one day, and we're talking about Showtime. And she said, what do you want? And I said, if anything, no matter how much you put it in my pocket, if it does not move the sport forward in Nigeria, help me out. The Nigerians flag football league, the Nigerian flag football fan is more. We are doing the same way NFL is bringing to bring NF to make the league grow in the US. There's no NFL UK for a reason. There's no NFL South Africa for a reason. It's NFL. There is Showtime. And our aim is to take this sport to heights that will be unmatched anyway. But at the same time, push the agenda of that same sport in the country. That's all.
Is Showtime thinking of hosting a league in Africa one day?
Yes, we are. I think we're the only ones with the infrastructure to do it right now. Yeah, people can go and rent stadiums and say want to play there. But that's no longer a flag football stadium. We own flag football, more or less. And I think it has to be the fact that if it's on merit, there's no reason you shouldn't be thinking of Showtime, really. And I understand, okay, maybe there is one thing here and there, I've had situations where people will tell me, "Oh, is it baby because we're not yet IFAB this, IFAB that." IFAB doesn't control the clubs, really. We control the clubs, and the aim is we would one day host that. I can tell you that for sure. We just need to, I believe in. They say charity begins at home. We believe first. We make ourselves. We develop our culture enough. We build our league enough. Then take it to the world.
We take it to the world, and now we take it to business or sports. And we say Showtime has attracted major brand and sponsors. What convinced companies that flag football is worth investing?
I don't think flag football is the real thing people are invested in. Any investor just want to invest and get returns. And that's the long and short. When people sponsor brands, they don't care if the brand is selling Guguru or back. It doesn't matter. It's just, can I get my return from investing in this guy? And that more is a key factor. We want to be able to say that whatever we're doing, we're able to say our brands, our values are delivered to our partners in a way that they don't regret ever being partners with us. We're a brand that respect the principles of our partners. If you tell me, oh, I want to be this, we basically ensure that whatever we're doing, we work to deliver value to our partners, no matter what. It's not just about, oh, give money that we don't give. No. It's about we work with you every week and like, okay, you know what? This is what we're noticing in terms of the feedback from our guys. What can you do to get this done? This is what we did. That's how committed we are to the process. So I always say it's not about sponsorship for us, it's about partnerships.
Can you talk to us about economic potential of flag football in Nigeria, jobs, tourism, media, and beyond?
Well, I think it's still just like every other sport, right? First things first, what value does he offer? Flag football now offers an impeccable level of value that I think brands will get involved. A lot of people get involved. Now, tourism will bring people in to watch the games. Now, the way we're positioning our 21st bowl now is part of the Dirty December process to say, okay, come watch it, all these sort of things. And that's even going to grow. We're going to get that even further up as we go. Every bowl we've done has been, a movement forward here and there. And we want to keep raising that bar every now and then to say, boom, boom, boom. Can we keep pushing it up, up, up? And the more we do that, the more brands are saying, okay, maybe I need to go get involved with this. The reason we didn't prioritize sponsorships or any brand involvement at the beginning was because one of the questions we ask ourselves is, are we able to even deliver the value these brands want? But yeah, it's okay to say, give me money. But you want to get the money and lose it? No. So we've had quite a number of brands come and go. And it's simple. Whenever they come, I tell them first things first, I don't think we can hold you. Like, oh no, let's try. Or we'll just try with something small. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Like 2 months later, they're like, I think you guys need to still. So for us, our first 2 years was to say, we need to get big enough to get the brands that are strong as what we're trying to build. And that's been our meeting. Nothing wrong.
So what would you say to investors who still doubt that sport beyond football can thrive in Nigeria?
Watch your time. If you doubt it, watch it. If after watching it you still doubt it, then I can't help you.
It's all about showtime.
Exactly.
And that takes us to the future. You are the man that says that you don't talk about yesterday, but I will ask you this story. Looking 5 years ahead, what does success look like for Showtime flag football?
Success in 5 years is that I get to 5 years. Honestly. So if we're still doing this in 5 years, then that's success. It's success enough. We're going to be like 50 billion stadiums, nonsense. We will do what we can do. But what I can tell anybody, for as long as we do this, you will enjoy it. You will come, you will watch real emotion in that field. And you will see a level of drive and delivery you've never seen from a team before. So yeah, that's all we can promise.
As the founder of Showtime, talking about the professional flag football, what are you doing so that we can have flag football stadium across Nigeria?
Well, we've done one. Then one is the one before two. Then we have 32 states, right? So the next one will be two, then three, then four, then five. Then we'll get there. The point is, 1 and 0 are not the same. You get. So we've done one. We
When
now
are we
need to
having
go
the number 2?
well, soon. We're working on it. But I think the important factor is to make sure the standard does not change. And that's one thing we prioritize. Make sure whatever we're doing, standards remain the same. No ambiguities anywhere. Really.
And what legacy do you hope Showtime leaves for Nigerian sports?
Full time. The same way the Premiership's legacy is the Premiership. My only hope is that 50 years from now, people say, one day I want to leave that Showtime. And that's all.
And finally, what message do you have for fans, players, and young Nigeria watching flag football grow before their eyes?
You have not seen anything. So much more is still coming. And at the end of the day, the only thing I can tell anybody right now is if you're a player, be ready to earn your spot. Be ready to grind. Be ready to know you are the next best thing that can be rewarded enough to play on that pitch. If you're a fan, go get your hearts and everything ready and be sure that you're not going to be able to leave your seat. I can tell you. Other stakeholders, you need to get up. Because if you're not, this country is not going to build itself. We would have to build it. So for me, I'm personally inviting everyone to say, come get on board. We're open, we're always open to partnerships. And every time we would always prioritize the value of moving the sport forward in Nigeria, making lives of athletes better over anything in this world.
I want to say a very big thank you.
No problem.
And you've enjoyed that. We know everything you need to know about flag football in Nigeria. We have been able to do justice to it, but I still think more is still coming.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I do. Thank you. I really appreciate it.